fashion shows, those on TV, and then also sometimes on international platforms, you see people wearing very outrageous, sometimes very scary outfits or uniforms, or depending on way you want to call it. But is it all of that they can really wear, or we can really wear in real life? You know, Kanye West, for instance, came up with some, they look technically like rugs, very expensive rugs. And can you really wear that, for instance, on even a casual day or to the office if you have to? We have a fashion designer in studio to help us talk about fashion in general. I'm talking about Aisha Abubakar. She is a fashion designer with a number of years' experience and has joined us in studio to discuss this issue. Good morning, Aisha.
Good morning.
Good to have you join us. To start with, is it everything on the walkway that is showcased that we can wear in real life?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Then why would they showcase it in the first place?
It depends on the designer and the theme for the whole like the clothing line at the point in time, and what they really want to showcase.
Okay, now there are times that you see especially ladies, I think this one normally goes with ladies' outfits, where it has all sorts of things.
A lot of things.
On what? Why would you showcase that? And what is the story behind it normally? What are the stories that surround some of these very different clothing on the runway? And
personally, I think people actually overtake the whole fashion thing to a whole other level. And I also feel that most of the time, especially, let me come back to Ghana here, there are a lot of people who are into fashion now who have no idea as to what it takes to put a clothes together. They can design, they can sketch, but as to the whole work and to putting it together, it's just the skill is not there. People, I went to a runway show, let me just chip this one in. I went to a runway show, and the theme was Fast and Furious. So the very first model that came on had this dress on, which on a very good day I wouldn't even wear. But she comes on stage with a helmet on. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it just don't make sense.
Okay.
In Africa, our style of, because we don't have, our weathers don't change.
Yeah.
We don't do summer and all of that.
We have a uniform weather sort of.
Exactly.
Yes,
so if you're exhibiting an outfit with a helmet on, really?
Okay. So does it mean that there are times where the theme of the fashion show, for instance, like you mentioned, Fast and Furious, the theme can inform the clothing?
Yes, it does. It does. It's the same way like they're doing summer, they're doing winter and all of that. So it would actually inspire you. In Ghana, we do, like we were saying, we don't have those seasons. So what we do is they have a theme. Okay, I did a fashion show recently, and the theme for the show was fusion. So you need to make sure you have a mixture of every bit and piece of fashion. We did a little casual, we did a little evening, you know, we fused it together.
Okay. Now, here in Ghana, we have quite a number of fashion shows, although they seem to be low profile.
Yes.
But how, looking at the fashion industry in general, do you think that we are growing as a country, and what are some of the things we are doing right?
I would actually start with the things we're doing wrong.
Okay.
Because one thing I've realized about fashion, like when I have people come to me to want to learn to sew, the very first thing I ask is that, do you have the passion for it? It's the most important thing, because sewing, making clothes for men is totally different from making clothes for women. For a guy, you can make one size and it can fit like 3 different sizes. Somebody who wears a size 14 might want to wear their clothes loose, so might want to wear a 16. Or somebody wearing 14 might like them tight, so they might wear a 12 for men. But for a woman, look at me, I'm very tall. And Benis is not as tall as I am, so my clothes won't fit her.
Certainly.
So it's very dicey when you're doing for women. You understand? It's very scary when you're doing for women.
How does passion play out in this?
It's a talent. When it comes to sewing, it's a talent. Combining colors, choosing fabrics, what you make with what kind of fabric is very important. You need to see your clients, you need to see what they look like. a fitting dress might fit me, but it might not fit somebody who is like bigger up and smaller down. You need to be able to convince your clients, because sometimes they see something they like. They've seen Yvonne Nelson wearing it, and you're thinking, I want the same thing as Yvonne is wearing. But Yvonne is very slim. She has a flat tummy and all that. You can't compare exactly. So you should be able, as a fashion designer, you should be able to convince your clients that what they want to wear might not be suitable for their body type.
And at that times you have refused to put together a garment for a client because they are insistent they want to look like a particular person.
Oh yes, I have. There's been times, or they have a particular fabric and they are insisting that they want this very style with this very fabric, and I'm explaining to them, like a chiffon fabric, it's a sheer fabric. You can't do a fitting dress with a sheer fabric, and they don't understand. So if the person don't understand, really, I won't do it, because it goes onto my CV. Exactly.
Now, still talking about fashion shows. So what are some of the right things we do? If those are some of the don'ts, what are some of the right things?
The good things, I mean, the whole idea of exhibiting clothes is quite important. Thank God right now people don't think that fashion is for the dropouts.
Okay.
Because exactly,
I can relate.
Yes, a lot of people thought that, I mean, you don't have to speak good English. I tell my workers all the time, what is important is for you to be able to lobby your way out. You should be able to talk your way out, express yourself to your clients. Because when people will come and want to intimidate you, because you're thinking, you know, that kind of thing. So you should be able to express yourself. But if you can do that, you're good. And then secondly, is giving a lot of people chances to want to get into it. Just that there are people who are still getting into it because they're thinking there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
You know, but
isn't there? Isn't the fashion industry lucrative?
It is, but it will depend on the kind of work you put out. Because if you make an outfit for someone and it doesn't come out really good the way they want it, somebody might not tell you, but will go and never come back again. So you're losing in that sense. That is the reason why it's important that if you're getting into fashion, you don't just have to have an idea, but you should know how to put an outfit together. Very important. Yes.
Okay. And when you are putting together a fashion show, for instance, and there is a theme.
Yes.
Maybe this time around the theme we want to talk about is what? Harvest.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
So what are some of the ideas that pop up into your mind when a word like that comes up? And maybe that's the theme for this fashion show.
I see, personally, when I hear themes, I do more of colors.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Let the colors do the talking.
I do that. Yes, I make the colors represent. So that's what I do. I've seen fashion shows that people have actually made clothes out of rubber bags, and really I'm thinking, who's going to buy that? You have that one chance to tell the world how good you are, and you make clothes out of rubber bags. You make clothes out of balloons. Really.
But isn't that the creative part of...
You see, but that is it. How many people who have you ever seen wearing a rubber bag on the street?
But you know that there are people who... a trend can start because someone put up something like that. You
know, when you started, you said something that Kanye West made an outfit that you would literally call rags. Would you wear that on a good day? Because this is how it looks like. It's supposed to be fashion, but the fact that it looks good on TV don't mean it looks good on the streets.
Okay.
Because most of the things that we see some of these artists wear, like some of the fashion show, you see people wear clothes and it's transparent, their nipples are showing. They wear it on the runway, but they will never wear it on the streets. Never. So this is it. Personally, I'm looking at the business side. I'm looking at my name, you know, in the middle, and I'm thinking, if I want to put clothes out, I want to put as something that people can wear.
Can easily go out and buy and wear.
Yes, most of the time, I even tell my clients that when we're making stuff, like somebody comes to me and says they want to make a peplum dress, I would advise you, if it's a peplum dress, nobody tells the difference that is a dress, because you already have something covering the midsection. So do it in a two-piece. You can always wear the skirt with another top. So you can switch it around. Or wear the top with something else. So you don't have to keep the same look all the time.
So then variety comes in.
Exactly.
Right. So in that same vein, are we not stifling people who have a very wild idea. The idea is wild. It is not in, I mean, it has never been heard of or used or done in fashion before. And you think that if you started gradually, people will buy into the idea. When there's something like that, how do you manage it?
I understand where you're coming from. One thing that any sane person has never done is to walk into public naked.
Okay.
Then walk into public naked. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, there are rules and regulations about it.
Fashion.
So when you're doing it, you need to do it right. I understand. You want to show the world that you're doing something that someone has never done, but do it the right way.
How much of an impact has modern day fashion had on real life? Or how much of an impact does fashion on a runway have on real life dressing?
There's been a few positive, but a lot of negative. Because now you see people wear things. I went to the restaurant one of these days, and I actually saw somebody wear, like, it was like a bustier, and she had a bra on top of it. You understand? And I'm thinking, like, I kept looking at her. It's lingerie. It's supposed to go inside. It's not supposed to be on the outside. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? People,
like wearing your trousers, and then after you wear
your boxers,
you put the boxer shorts on it.
On it just don't make sense. You understand? But you see, when you watch
that, actually looks like it's a good fashion trend. That could start.
It feels like pure madness.
Yeah. So there are, but then that is something that can go on the runway.
Yes,
if you want to make a certain statement on the runway,
yes, it can.
You can wear an inner clothing on a regular.
On the runway, anything crazy is good, but not in real life.
Okay, but quite apart from maybe this, which some would say is a one-off negative example, how much impact do you think that our day-to-day activity is being influenced when it comes to latest fashion trends?
I think it's being influenced a lot. People are understanding fashion more. People are understanding the do's and don'ts.
Okay.
You know, like, I still advise people. You see someone wearing a black and white, like what I'm wearing, and they're wearing gold earrings. It's a fashion don't.
Oh.
One of the fashion don'ts that a lot of people don't know is wearing brown and black. They look good together, but it's a fashion don't. So I feel like really it's teaching us a lot, things that we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to wear at what time, where we have to wear them, and where we can take them. So I think it's having a positive influence. As well. Yes.
But for the age categorization,
yes,
we know that children want to look a certain way, so they have to be given certain. What influences your decision when you are sewing for an adult and then a child?
The age is quite important. It doesn't matter how old. You know, there are people who are really old, but they still want to look young. But there's a way you can blend in. You know, you fuse it. You give them a little bit of their youthful life and what they are today.
What would you use to represent that? Would it be colors, or do you look at the patterns of the fabric?
Patterns are very, very important. Like, I could do a flowery robe, something that has rose in it, lot of rose for somebody who is quite old, but it will do well for a child.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
If it's flowery, I mean, too much of that, no, you can't do that. If you can do it for an adult, but you have to blend in.
Tone it.
You have to tone it down. Maybe add a plain color, something to tone it down.
And you raise a critical part of this discussion, which has to focus on patterns.
Yes.
Which patterns best suit which body size?
Okay.
You know, so let's take it, for instance, we have horizontal lines and
vertical.
then vertical or perpendicular lines. Sorry, vertical lines. Then you have a fabric, and the person, there are round or circular patterns in this fabric, and the person who has come for you to sew that fabric for them are quite tall.
Yes.
What are going to be the considerations in this?
Okay, as tall as I am, it's very important for me to wear stripes because I want to look slimmer.
Okay.
That's the whole idea. I love being tall, so I don't want to hide it. But if you wear them vertically, it makes you shorter and bigger.
Okay.
So another thing, you actually raised a good point. Another thing is that one thing I've realized with some of the clothes that I've seen in Ghana, people don't turn the fabrics the right way.
Oh, they just lay down,
cut. It's very important to me that when somebody brings a fabric that has patterns in it, I need to match them a certain way. If you watch what I'm wearing, it looks like there are no patterns in it, but there are. So this bit here is very important. I need to make sure that it lines a certain way.
Oh, okay.
It's very, very important. I mean, think about it. What are the styles that we have? When you're talking about necklines, we have the round neck, square neck, V-neck, the boat neck. It's the same thing, but it's how you do your patterns and the fabric that will make your outfit stand out.
We have a lot of very colorful and lot of pattern type fabrics in a lot of the African prints that we have. And do you have to, so the example, the round pattern cloth I mentioned, and the person who brought it to you is quite rounded themselves.
Yes.
Is that something you would advise that can go on the person, or in this case?
It can. It will depend on how I work on it.
How it is sewn.
How it's being sewn. Because you can cut it in a way that instead of it being round, all round, you can match the round patterns and lay straight. So the fact that it has the line in it
can give
you the height that you want. Instead of it making it big. Another thing is that a lot of people don't realize, I tell clients all the time, when you're big, what you should do is you don't necessarily have to wear tight clothes, but you have to be fitting enough that it makes you look smaller. But there are people who are big and they want them really big because they feel they want to cover up. But the only thing it does is it just adds a lot of skin to what you already have.
Okay. Well, I'm of the view that when you are tall, you might want to wear fabrics that are patterned, vertically.
Yes, normally.
So it doesn't accentuate the height.
Normally, when you're really tall, because a lot of people they feel a little intimidated about their own height.
Okay.
A lot of women, especially in Africa, are never bold when they are tall. They don't want to walk into a place and they are sticking out.
Everybody is looking at them.
Exactly. So they don't wear high heels and all of that. So in a case like that, yes, you can make clothes for them vertically, then it makes them shorter. And then people like that, you can really make long clothes for them. Because when you make it long to the ground, it obviously makes them look tall. Normally they are supposed to wear short clothes. But if you have somebody who is very confident, like myself, I don't mind. I like to stick out.
So it's more dependent on the individual and what they are comfortable with.
But normally when the lines are horizontal, it makes you slimmer. Yes, it does. And darker colors make you slimmer too.
Okay, so in this case, if the person is plump and tall, plump and maybe what we call giant, the person is really huge. When you give a person a pattern of vertical lines, it would make the person look a lot more slimmer
and maybe make more of a short dress instead of a long one.
Wouldn't that then be exposing, depending on the length of the dress, wouldn't it expose too much skin?
At least to the knee is fine.
Okay.
At least to the knee.
And talking about issues of skin and exposes, showing too much of it, there are times when on a fashion show or on a runway, you see people wearing things that like bikinis, beach outfits and beach wear. How real in transforming that or translating that to what someone will wear on the beach? How real and how common is that?
Oh, when it comes to swimwear, it's very, very common. Very common. I mean, like, with swimwear, it's crazy. You would find somebody wearing panty and a bra at the beach, and you're thinking, what the hell is
do that?
Yeah, but when you see them wearing a bikini, for some reason, it's quite normal.
Why is that?
It's because it's supposed to be for the beach.
So that is
if you're wearing
appropriate outfit
exactly for a particular place. So if you're wearing it in a place like that, it's fine. My concern is this: most of the models that we have are very skinny. Most of them are like a cup A. She's wearing a dress on the runway, shows a lot of cleavage because her boobs are very small. They are standing, and all that. And you find somebody who is like a cup D or E, wanting to wear the same boob dress as this model is wearing.
And it doesn't work.
It don't work. the boobs are dropping. You know, you see them all the time.
Okay.
You need to check yourself. It's very important.
So
for you
knowing yourself
Yes.
before you
Yeah.
decide on an outfit is very critical. Okay. And okay, so in wrapping up this conversation, we would want to now focus on what one should consider if they're going into, you know, whichever environment, maybe on a casual day, and you've seen something on the runway. Should you what should go into that decision to want to say, I like this, I like the way it was set up, I want the same thing for maybe a corporate event?
Like I said, the first thing is you need to check yourself.
Watch you yourself?
Yes, you need to check yourself first. Everybody knows the kind of body type that they have, so you should know what looks good on you and what don't look good on you. Fine. One of the reasons why it's good to customize clothes is that you can see the outfit, it looks nice. We should be able to make some changes. It's very important. You know, like, okay, I like the dress, but maybe I want some sleeves on.
Okay.
Because if the dress might look good, but maybe it might be sleeveless, it might be showing a little more skin. You can wear that to the office.
Okay.
You need to cover up more. You can do the same background, but you should be able to add some or take some out. That is what you should always look out for.
Okay, well, it's been fun having you around to help us talk about fashion this morning, and we've been speaking with Aisha Abubakar. She is a fashion designer and also a fashion advisor, if I can put it that way.